Let's see if we can break the mold. See if Malphite wins or loses this game.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they play, how they draft in response to the Malphite pick. Because remember, when you think about it, Malphite has this weak laning phase, but this strong team fight presence with his unstoppable force. You need to either draft a team of champions that have the mobility and the damage to deal with him, or just basically succumb to just how strong of a team fight presence he has. So we have Morgana being hover. We're not sure what their other pick might be. Where it comes to all the OPs that we have left up, Kindred is still an option, and it's actually a very good option when you consider it into the Malphite, just because her ult can prevent her team from dying. But we're gonna get the Nocturne instead. Very interesting choice. How do you feel about this pick?
I'm not even sure. I rarely ever see Nocturnes anymore, to be honest with you. It just really depends on what the rest of their lineup.
Kench, sorry to interrupt you, but I just have to mention that he was not banned. This is true. He was not banned, so he is being hovered right now on the side of
the Kench. Unload the Toad. Let's go. Let it out.
Yeah, will this be the lock-in for Tahm Kench? Already have very good champion picks coming up from Reverse right here. So now the thing about Malphite as well is that since with the Malphite pick, the top winner for Team Young Bronze cannot go for that Fiora again, because even though he might get a potential kill on him, at the end of the day, the Malphite is going to be too tanky for him to handle. But we have the Gnar being hover. Gnar has a favorable matchup into Malphite, I have to say, in terms of just being able to be able to kite at that % health damage, and he has the constant slows on top of each other. But another champion people have been forgetting about that has also a favorable matchup into Malphite is Vladimir. Vladimir has a very favorable matchup into it. Do you think they might actually draft Vladimir on their team composition?
I really hope they won't, because if you do, I'm not sure what their team fight presence is going to be like unless they get extraordinary lane phases. But if the past 2 games are anything to say, I would put early game onto Team Reverse and mid game onto Team Young Bronze. They just simply perform better in those respective times. So I wouldn't like to see a Vladimir show up onto Young Bronze. I just don't feel as though they would really be able to capitalize on his bullying against this team.
We have Lulu and Tristana being locked in, so Kalista's being hovered, but I don't think you should go for the Kalista pick. While it is good with Tahm Kench just because of the potential being able to pull someone into your team when they get devoured by Tahm, there's also the fact that Tristana has the counter matchup into Kalista.
True.
If you want to care about if you care about the laning phase, by all means. If you don't care about laning phase, you can go ahead and lock in. It's still a fine pick, and they do lock it in.
It is a strong combo, considering that both Tahm Kench and Kalista can save each other. You have anytime Morgana binds, Tahm Kench can eat Kalista. Anytime Tahm Kench gets caught out, Kalista can pull him away. So it's definitely very, very strong on the defensive side, and it has a lot of aggression to it because Tahm Kench is just
really Hecarim. How do you feel about Hecarim versus Malphite in this matchup?
I feel as though Hecarim actually has an edge against Malphite. I feel as though he will be able to bully him out just like the Fiora does, but unlike Fiora, his team fight is a lot stronger,
and he has a lot tankier stats too as a result of having just being able to go for these tankier items for his itemization. You know, it's a champion that's very factored around how much move speed he can get because he gains attack damage based on his move speed.
Yep.
He also has the Ignite too for the extra kill pressure, so we're going to see how that works as well.
I would honestly like to see maybe an early gank against Malphite with the Nocturne Hecarim, because one good fear, Malphite doesn't get really tanky until he gets at least one item on him, get some health and some armor. So one fear, great amount of damage coming out from both those champions. They ignite. Goodbye Malphite. Great lead for Hecarim. it'll really snowball, and it'll allow the pony to just charge over and over again down into the mid lane or even TP down bot lane to catch out the Callista. Because the problem with Callista Tom Kench in this scenario is you if you separate both of them, it's kind of hard for them to save each other, which would definitely be the case if you have with Morgana maybe locking down Tom Kench while Hecarim charges onto Callista, because Callista just wouldn't be able to handle that with Hecarim and Tristana.
But yeah, it's gonna be very nice to see how these games play out, because this is the same Lulu pick from both Game 2 and Game 3, and with the brand ban, you can lane Lulu into Orianna just fine, just because it's like, you know, it's two control mages with shields and some offensive abilities into their kits, and this Orianna's late game skill, you're not going to see too much aggression in that lane for the most part. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at the bottom lane matchups, I don't think it's that much as well, just because they both have abilities that like negate a lot of things. It's like if they use Dark Binding on Callista, Tan devours Callista. If they like try to devour, if the Devour tries to go into Tristana, there's Black Shield, so it's a lot of negation abilities from both sides there. So it's gonna just come down to how the junglers decide to pressure the map in order to get advantages for their team. So I feel this game is just gonna come down in terms of the laning phase solely on what the junglers do.
And seeing what the junglers have been picked out, once again, the real G-Spot has shown himself over and over again to be a great early game ganker. He's constantly putting pressure, and on a champion like Jarvan, he's just going to be able to excel at that once again. I would, again, like to see US Economy put pressure on those objectives, get a lead for the Hecarim, and help translate that into a strong mid game. We're just going to have to see how they play it out.
Oh, sorry. Forgot to change it so you ever get me into the loading screen soon. So who do you think is gonna take the win just off of the picks alone?
It's kind of hard to say right now. Let me see. As we're loading in here, let me look at the champions again.
Just to be honest, I think this is gonna be a win for Team Reverse, just because of how much priority I've seen that Malphite have in this game. He's got picked every time this game, and the team that had him won with him. So I think it's something that's gonna happen. What do you think?
You know what? If Polish King can roam with that Malphite and make some great plays, I definitely see the Wombo combo winning the game for Team Reverse. It's just too strong. The Orianna has so many ways to get her ultimate off, with Jarvan jumping in, Malphite jumping in, Callista throwing Tom Kench, or Tom Kench even swimming in. They just have a great team fight pressure. And it definitely could go their way. It's just all a matter of how well the early game plays out for them.
Oh, I'm sad. There's no skin for the Callista or Tam Kench. No skin bot lane. I don't count Rygo Tristana as a skin. It was free. Like it was for before her rework. It was basically a chroma. Now it's an actual skin.
What are we talking about here? Oh, you're talking about Rygo.
Yeah, Rygo Tris.
Yeah, it does look nice.
All right, we're in game here right now.
All right. So on the blue side, we have Polish King Thick on top lane as Malphite. We have the real G-Spot in the jungle on Jarvan the 4th. Bot lane is Cover Guy and Luslik as Callista and Tom Kench respectively, and in the mid lane, taking up Orianna for the second time this series is Xbox on Ori. On the red side, we have Kagoi taking up Hecarim. The U.S. economy playing Nocturne. Bot lane has Blue Dirk and Char 333 as Tristana and Morgana, and in the mid lane, Flywalker once again playing Lulu.
But yeah, this is interesting because we have someone in chat whose most played champion is Hecarim. So please elaborate to us. How do you feel about the Hecarim versus Malphite matchup? And I'll reiterate right here for you. You could feel free to type it in whenever you want, but you know, I feel that Hecarim has that early kill pressure over him. It seems like just off of the Ignite alone. Both have the corrupting potion too, so that's also a little bit of extra damage right there too.
Minions have spawned.
I really do feel as though this game is going to come down to how well these junglers control the early game. Because on the other hand, while blue side has that strong team fight presence, on red side they just have a lot of pick power between Nocturne, Hecarim, and Morgana. All right, so we're seeing standard starts for both junglers. Quite a better leash on the side for U.S. economy.
Oh, Tam trying to see if he can get the early devour going. Misses the Q, so he's just getting kited right now. Yeah, can't underestimate the explosive shot damage from Tristan. And aggression happened in the top lane. We weren't looking too. We were just too focused on the bottom lane trading.
Hecarim's already chunked down the Malphite to half health. Zoning him out from a little bit of CS. No.
So there's the level 2. I mean, the tongue lash lands, and you know, it's like I said, you know, nothing really happens in this type of bot lane matches because of all the negation abilities that we're about to have access to once level 3 comes.
However, if you do focus your red side, focus your damage onto the Tom Kench prior to Callista's ultimate, you do have a chance to get a free kill there. A little hard, but it's your best chance.
Yeah. You know, same thing I mentioned before about the mid lane matchup too. It's just a farm lane. You know, Lulu versus Orianna. Nothing much really happens in that lane. It's just a lot of wave shoving, honestly.
It's all gonna come down to how these junglers play it out.
You know, U.S. economy could consider getting Kagoi ahead because we saw what happened in game 1 when he got ahead on that Fiora. Just this hard split push threat to deal with. It was dealt with really well in game 2, though.
Yeah. Ultimately, it does look as though red side has the better lane advantage, though. Even though.
Ooh, he got the. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but what he did is that he sat the lot of spears on the minion, Q through it to get the stacks onto Tristana, and he tried to get the run reset. He messed up the run reset, but it was still pretty cool. He was able to get that harass off. You know, hashtag Callista mechanics.
If bot lane can just continue doing what they're doing, shoving the wave in against team reverse, they don't even need to really fight. They could just poke down the tower little by little.
Oh, and the Malphite ran out of mana now, so he can't even last year or trade, so he's just gonna have to back and TV back the lane, but he's actually gonna stay for a wave or more.
I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Nocturne's already on the top side. Just.
You think they might do the potential dive?
It could be. It looks like they're going for it.
And actually, they can't because they don't have a wave just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
He's just gonna go for the freeze, and he just went out there just to put a ward. If you see it, he put a ward by Grom.
Yep.
Just to get the early deep warding down.
All right, here comes a gang from the real G spot, and if they go on this Morgana, oh boy.
Does she have the black shield? Oh, she used her flash though.
Yep. So they get away, but that's a flash. Now G-Spot can come back again. There's no wards in this river. Well, now there is, but Nice little rotation in 1 minute while the Morgana's flash is still down and they can get a kill or at least pressure for the dragon.
Oh, and I mentioned it was a farm lane on the mid lane, but there's that CS difference that's come out. 20 CS difference right there.
Oh boy.
And then it's about to be another 20 CS difference in the top lane too.
Going for the other side though. But the thing here is that Lulu's just a utility champion in this situation. The damage is going to be coming really from Tristana and Hecarim for the red side.
That's true. And there's speaking of Tristana, this gank is happening on them as this could be a potential kill onto Morgana, but the Ren stacks weren't popped, and this seems this might be turned back onto the Kalista with the fear.
Oh no!
But instead, is Lee putting it onto Jarvan instead of and the Devour onto the Kalista to keep her safe.
That's definitely unlucky.
So these are one of the reasons why Tahm Kench is banned. Usually, at least he's banned in my solo queue games. I'm not sure why he's actually not banned here.
He was banned for the last 2 games.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, he was, right. I'm sorry, I forgot. It was just this game where he was actually open.
US Economy hanging down around bot side, looking to get another gank. I really feel as though he should leave. He's wasting his time. It's not going to be an easy gank getting onto the Tahm Kench Kalista at this point. We see Malphite is finally hit level 6. It would be a good time for him to either teleport somewhere and get a gank off. Oh, and we see US Economy getting jumped on by the real G-Spot. Quick walk away, and Hecarim souls Malphite in the top lane.
But yeah, I just read the chat and leaked it. I agree with you wholeheartedly on all the points you put about Hecarim in this game, about how he has to get ahead, and that's one of the best things about Hecarim, that his snowball potential is so real when it comes to just being able to just do dives onto people with the onslaught of shadows. And you're right, the Hecarim Midnight is a lot of damage that has to be respected in terms of top lane matchups and overall in general throughout this game. This Hecarim has a 1 kill right now, so.
Yeah, Polish King did not respect his damage and went to farm behind him, allowing Kagoi to just poke him down and finish him off with a ignite ulti.
And one thing to notice is that he also went for the Merc Treads because, like I mentioned from before, the move speed gives Hecarim additional attack damage, and along with the Sheena, it means that Hecarim just does a lot more burst damage now and has more AD as well, so it's gonna be probably really difficult to deal with. But the Malphite is gonna try his best because he's going for this Frozen Heart.
What I would like to see right now is US Economy taking his ultimate top lane, get that Malphite while his flash is still down. Between him and Kagoi, they'll be even able to force him out because his teleport is down, Obo is coming back up, or get a kill. Either or, they can get the top lane or the Rift Heralds for Kagoi and continue snowballing him. And speaking of the devil, it looks as though US Economy is doing exactly that. However, the real G-Spot is already there.
Oh, with the counter gank coming in from the US Economy.
Oh, and it looking like it's going to go with 1 kill to Kagoi. And next, return pickup to Malphite, but I feel as though US Economy is going to walk
he has the red
down.
buff. That's a lot of additional damage coming out.
Excuse me, that's a double kill going to US Economy. See, this is what I was talking about. If the real G-Spot hadn't been there, that would have been a free kill on the Malphite in the first place.
Oh yeah, more than likely.
Now, if they can just do that one more time, or even just when Kagoi comes back to the top lane, he can even teleport right now. They can rush down that Rift Herald. There's no way for anybody to really contest them for it. And with that mini Baron buff, he can just push down that tower. Yeah, Malphite can ignore some of his damage, but that's a free tower. He can turn around, and that allows the Hecarim to roam.
Yep, and
Getting
as our person in the chat mentioned, you know, how to win this game, have Hecarim just wreck bot lane, you know. Hecarim gets advantages, he gets. Makes a TP play bot lane with the home guard. Well, home guard only comes in like the next 10 minutes, so he'll just have to make the TP play and just go straight with the onslaught of shadows to get the kill.
in all honesty, that's all he really needs. In fact, he can even run down the Orianna. If they have the proper vision to see where the G spot is, which it looks as though G spot's doing that on his side, he's putting a lot of vision on the bottom side of Nocturne's jungle. And this is the thing, you don't need vision on both sides. So long as you have vision on one side, if you know where he's not, you know where he is. Unfortunately, it all gets cleared out. Oh, and we're seeing Blue Dirk and Char going aggressive against Cover Guy to get a free kill, but now G-Spot and the entire Young Bronze team, reverse team is on the over here in the bot lane, catching out Char and US Economy with a great Ori Shockwave.
Oh, the smite to finish off the Morgana.
Now we're seeing 3 members of the blue team rushing towards mid. They're going to catch out Flywalker. And he ults just to walk away. This would be a good point in the game for US Economy to come top and dive Polish King while he's still low. Or even Hecarim can even dive him right now. Ooh, never mind. As J4 rushes to his aid.
But yeah, just to make sure that they don't lose the tower. But it'll be interesting if he tries to do a dive onto the J4. It'll be very interesting if he tries, because J4 did use his Cataclysm, but he won't opt to do it.
And he doesn't have his flash either. I would really like to see Nocturne put some more pressure up on top. If they get that tower,
But yeah, Hecarim will probably try to make a TP play bottom side once he finishes the Trinity Force, just for more damage output. But yeah, we have almost a 50 CS lead in the top lane with Justana rocket jumping in. Couldn't quite get the slowdown though.
And we have J4 lurking in the works.
He has access to Cataclysm, so it could be a potential kill. And here I am, we're talking about right here. Lulu does not have flash, so this is gonna be a kill. But Nocturne comes in with the counter gang, looking to potentially get a fear onto Balba. So on cooldown still, but wait, he's actually still gonna go for it. Oh, actually no, not enough damage. The Orianna shield was very helpful. Oh, it dashes into the binding, but you know, like I said, tank can devour. If you get hit by the binding, just get Ian right away, and then everything's just fine again.
See, at this point, I would have liked to see Nocturne go for the dragon. Then he killed the jungler. Their bot lane is pressuring.
Well, you see, if they do go for the dragon, there's still the potential threat of the teleport from the Hecarim, but then there's also your top laner's teleport too, so I don't know.
Hecarim would be on their team.
Yeah.
So if you have Hecarim and Malphite both teleport in, but Orianna was low, J4 was dead, Lulu was dead, it would be at best a 4v3. Hecarim is strong enough to just run down 2 of their team without dying. If anything, it would be a bad decision for Team Reverse to try and contest the dragon.
But yeah, Kogoi is trying to force down this top lane tower just so that he can have more access to the rest of the map. He's probably going to get a win with this next wave that he's building up right now.
Oh,
that was the unstoppable force that got used actually. Just try to save the tower. Actually surprised he went for that.
And now the tower's still gonna go down as Polish King backs. Unless he can teleport back in time. But I feel as though the tower's gonna die regardless.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
But yeah, I don't know. The game is still pretty even, so chance for our team to get the win in this game so far.
There is a 3K gold lead going.
Oh, but Jarvan going for the Cataclysm, and now Lulu still does not have her flash though, but she will go down to just a sheer amount of damage. This is a Jarvan that went for the Warrior enchantment, so he has that 60 attack damage.
Delicious. Ooh, that damage on the Orianna ball. And out we go. Into the Toad's mouth we go. Looks as though Team Young Bronze is going for the dragon. No response coming out from the blue side. And Kagoi is rushing down Orianna. Will he get the solo kill? The good flash out the ult. And he's safe.
A very
Dragon
well-timed flash.
Yep. Dragon goes over to Young Bronze. Now with Dragon gone and top tower dead, what do you think their next move should be?
So right now there's only one outer tower that's down, so you want to look to try and get another outer tower now. Oh, there's Tristan rocket jumping in onto the Kalista. This is one of the reasons why it's a counter matchup in the favor of Tristan, just because once you get the jump onto Kalista, you have so much burst damage that Kalista can't stack rend quickly enough to kill you, whereas you can just kill her with just 4 stacks on your explosive shot.
Alright, and tower goes down for Young Bronze, another tower, and as on the other side of the map we have the US economy and Kagoi going for
it seems that Tristan isn't going to be the one that gets devoured, but could have been a potential attempt. But Unstoppable Force being used onto 2 people with Jarvan EQing in, lands the Cataclysm onto the Nocturne, breaks the open side he can chase, but Kagoi runs away with the Rift Herald buff that they were able to get. As Flower getting chased, flashes the Orianna Shockwave. Some really good flashes we're seeing in this game.
This is a great chance for them to take down the mid lane tower, open up the map a bit for the blue side. Rude. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm being rudely accosted by blue Judge. Ouch. My feelings, friend. My feelings.
That feeling the players BM the caster. Oh, but
yeah,
it's gonna be a really easy solo kill. Oh well, Tristana steals it, but it would have been a free solo kill for the Nocturne. So one thing to always remember, everyone: if you have a 3-1 Nocturne in your game, you can't do any type of split pushing in the game unless you know you can 1v1 him, because then that happens. Where he just uses the paranoia just to gap close onto you, then you get 1v1s.
So we see Hecarim just, you know, playing around the rosy with the Tom Kench and Malphite, while on the bot side, free tower, no response.
Ooh, that was a lot of damage. The Ignite coming out too, and the Wild Growth being used to save himself, but that's a solo kill for on the side of Bao. That's that Athene's Luna's Echo Orianna damage.
Cannot let that happen.
Because now on one side you have a really strong Orianna and Jarvan. On the other side you have a really strong Tristana and Nocturne. And this Hecarim who was able to get a lot of farm, and even though he couldn't quite get the kills, it's still good. Oh, sorry, but like I mentioned from before, you just jump onto them with the explosive shine. You just do so much burst damage that Ren just becomes something that doesn't even matter anymore to Tristana in terms of 1v1.
Can he get out in time? Ooh, just in the
Ooh, just
time.
barely made it with his life.
Sana pieced out. I think this would be a great time for the Tristana to come mid.
And just try to take the tower, right?
Yep.
I mean, it could be hard though, just because Orianna does have the wave clear to keep them at bay.
True, but there's not much left to do down bot lane.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of outer towers got taken at the moment. It might as well just be better just to shove out outer lanes and just group up mid to attempt the mid siege.
If anything, get some vision around around Dragon as it's about to come up in a minute, and just wait for that while keeping pressure on mid and top. We see Kagoi playing around with the Malphite, but G-Spot and Luzlik are catching out the Nocturne. Meanwhile, Blue Solo's cover guy in bot lane. 4 people on the top side. This might just be an inhibitor tower. Teleport comes out from the Malphite. He has no mana to really fight this. But
that was a very poor decision by Reverse there, just letting the Tristana be able to split push so freely, because they almost lost an inhibitor time that offered up a lot of map pressure on their side, just because that open inhib would have been very problematic in terms of just having Hecarim go get it, because he does have teleport, so he can just split push bot side, try to get the tower, and then still be able to make TP plays.
Well, as Young Bronze has to back, Team Reverse is picking up a free dragon.
The best thing for Young Bronze to do right now, after he took that dragon, is to have Hecarim stay bot side and have him put down that pressure on the bot wave on that last tower there, and rotate Tristana either mid or top, because she can take either one of those towers very, very easily with the explosive shot. And if you don't want to take her mid, because you know Orianna's going to be like wave clearing mid, that's fine. Just take her top, let her put pressure on that tier 2 top tower as you have Hecarim pushing out the bounce side tower. And you're literally just having so much effort with this 1-3-1 split push. Well, in this case, it'll be like, you know, you have Lulu mid, Hecarim bot, and then you have the other 3 top, and then you can just try to choke them out just off of just map pressure alone on the towers.
Yeah. If anything, you can have Nocturne go constantly push off top and then disappear into the jungle. While you have to be afraid of this Nocturne. He's extremely strong. He can solo kill just about everyone on the enemy team. While Hecarim is pushing bot lane, they pressure mid lane, they pressure top lane, they pressure the Baron. They keep vision there. Something's gonna give eventually.
Yeah, and then when you think about it, they have the teleport on both Lulu and Hecarim.
Oh, we have a fight going on right now.
Oh, with the paranoia being used onto the Orianna as her health bar just disappears, but she's able to get the shockwave before she goes down, and Nocturne stuck in the catalyst, so he falls to Hecarim as Tristana trying to take the mid tower as this fight goes on with the Dark Binding. Not able to hit anyone. But yeah, as I was mentioning from before though, you know, if they're able to win that skirmish on the top lane, but like I mentioned, it would have been good if they attempted that, but this is fine. This is fine too, because they get a tier 2 tower.
In fact, they're gonna get 2 towers, potentially 3.
The reason why I just mentioned this split push aspect is just because they have teleport on both Flywalker and Kagoi. So wait, what? Is he gonna actually kill them?
Here?
What?
What is going on? Very interesting.
Well, rip the tower. Oh, the Dark Binding does land though, so now he's dead.
Oh.
But But yeah, I just mentioned this because when you have two teleports on your team, it's very variable for you to split push, just because it's hard for the enemy team to do anything to your split push because you have the map rotation abilities through the teleport. Not to mention when their teleports are up, Malphite was down, but Tristana might actually fall. She gets devoured, so she's gonna fall. So there's a sheer amount of damage thereafter.
Yeah.
And this could be a potential Baron on the side of Team Reverse if they decide to do it, because they do have the Kalista run. And on the side of the enemy team, they just killed 2 people. Tristana's dead for 30 seconds. So it's something that they can consider, but they're going to go for a tower instead of the Baron.
It's a bit
Which is a very fine idea, in case you're just afraid of the sheer damage that Hecarim can do. Because with it being 25 minutes, he does have access to that home guard. So they're going to look to try and get a tier 2 tower. But this could be fighting a little more they could chew, because they have to be afraid of the onslaught of shadows from the Hecarim, especially since there's the ability for Lulu to Whimsy Hecarim, and like I mentioned before, move speed gives him the extra attack damage, so it's a very scary thought, having a Whimsy Hecarim running at you at full speed.
Very true. I really want to see this Malphite join in these fights a little bit more. If he could land a great knock up on everybody, followed up by an Orianna Shockwave, that could really turn this game around in favor of Team Reverse. Oh, and we have US Economy jumping onto the Kalista, who gets just devoured away by the Tomkins, and they walk around out. Either way, this still should translate into a tower because of how much pressure they have and how low those health bars are.
But we have Malphite actually trying to look for a flank right here. Well, he had the teleport, so he should have considered going for a TP home guard flank, because, like I said, everyone has access to home guard now, but he's on the side right here. I don't think they actually know he's there, to be honest.
Actually, they do. Look, they have the red award right by the Wraith Pit. Raptor, excuse me.
No, wait, what? Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, so they know, yeah. So there are pings for Baron, probably just to get vision down onto it.
It's 28 minutes into the game. There's a 5K gold lead going towards Team Young Bronze. However, this game can go either way. And
the back got interrupted, and as a phone support, could be a potential tower dragon or a Baron.
Dragon doesn't come up for another 40 seconds, so I would say it won't be any, because Flywalker just cleared this.
With the paranoid being used as he gapples onto Orianna, who flashes away, gets a 2-man shockwave, but she just falls down. And then Kalista falls to Tristana, damage with an unstoppable force being used onto 2 people, but Tristana has rocket jump and mobility, trying to get away, knocks them away with the buster shot, as Hecarim trying to help Tristana kill this Malphite, who gets devoured by the Tam Kench as they both try to run for their lives, with Hecarim trying to do whatever he can to finish off the job, as Tristana might look to do a potential rocket jump away. She's taking a little too much tower aggro, can't quite finish all Tam Kench just yet. Very close to doing it though.
Yeah. Very interesting team fight. Definitely went in the favor of Team Young Bronze.
This is going to be a tower though for them, by all means, with the explosive shot.
And another dragon. See, this is what I wanted to see from the last 2 games. Team Young Bronze has been putting a lot more focus towards just collecting objectives rather than fighting. Team Reverse has always has shown to have a much better team fight than Young Bronze in the last two matches of the series. So by focusing on more energy towards collecting these objectives, they've gotten the money that they need to actually fight through all this wombo combo.
But yeah, speaking of combos though, it's crazy because the score is 12-13, but you see we have a 6K gold lead in the favor of Team Young Bronze, and it's one thing to note that with Nocturne always going on to Orianna in these fights, what Tam Kench has to do is that he has to devour whichever target Nocturne decides to go onto. And in this case, he has to devour Orianna, because if Nocturne hops onto Orianna, then Orianna has no type of self peel aside from Flash, because she's immobile like that as one of the immobile mages.
And it's a really difficult choice, especially because Hecarim keeps going for that Callista every single time.
Exactly, it's just a situation that where they just don't have enough self peeling abilities
so
to
we see them
affect
fighting
the
over
dive.
vision for the Baron right now, trying to pressure it. And we go back into a short lull as Team Reverse is pushing down mid lane to get the inner tower. I am not sure this is a great idea at the moment, unless Malphite
Their siege is really, I feel, is really weak because they have Callista and they're opening themselves up, as you can see, to this flank by Hecarim.
What they need right now is to get a perfect unstoppable force onto the back line, followed up by a shockwave to just obliterate the Tristana's health. If they can get rid of the Tristana, they can fight down the Hecarim and the Nocturne slowly.
Right, not to mention this Tristana also doesn't have any armor penetration. Just they opted to go for some extra life steal and a QSS even. That QSS could have been the armor penetration she needed, so let's gonna see. It's gonna bite her in the end in this next team fight whenever it happens.
I'm not even sure how great that QSS will deal her unless Tahm Kench can get onto her, because there's no other hard CC coming out of this team.
Right, that's very true. QSS does not help against Malphite's unstoppable force. It does not affect airborne abilities.
There is a huge wave coming down on bot side though, going towards blue side's towers. So if they can just continue playing around in this mid lane, they can use this wave to challenge for Baron, especially as these wards. Oh, and Jarvan's getting caught out by US economy on this Nocturne. This is probably going to lead to a death.
Oh, he actually goes for the Devour on him, but the Onslaught of Shadows brings Jarvan to death, followed by Tahm Kench as the rest of Team Reverse has to run away.
With Callista down bot lane and 2 players down, this is an easy Baron. And sad to say, but it's probably going to be game going towards Team Young Bronze.
That's true, very free Baron, and they have the better siege, so once they get this Baron, they could just go down mid or bot lane and hope to get potentially 2 inhibitors.
Yep. Team Reverse's only chance now is really that unstoppable force. If they can land unstoppable force, follow up with the Orianna shockwave, Callista throwing in Tahm Kench into the backline, if they can manage to kill Blue Dirk on the Tristana before he can jump away or be saved by Lulu, Wild Growth, they could potentially turn this game around. They have the damage coming out of the Orianna. They just need to land it. If otherwise, there's going to be a slow but definite win going towards Young Bronze.
Oh, couldn't quite pop the Banshee's Veil just yet. That would be very good if they can get the Banshee's Veil pop.
We have Hecarim split pushing top lane right now.
Yeah, this was something that we saw them do in game 1 actually. When they got ahead, they just opted to do this 1-4 split. And it's very effective because it's very hard to deal with, especially with Baron and Power Minions. It's like you have one person clear mid lane, but then what about the other lane? This Malphite can't exactly solo Hecarim. He can stay in the same lane as him, but it doesn't exactly deal much damage.
And we see a rocket jump coming out. Tristana almost caught herself in a bad position. We have a slow rotation, but this was a terrible idea. Get caught out.
Oh my goodness! The Orianna shockwave destroyed Tristana.
But in the meanwhile, they respond with getting the mid inhibitor tower.
This is true, but they didn't lose an inhibitor though, only a tower, so it's still okay for the time being. And it seems
it
they
takes
might
them
look to
down.
get something a bit more as the paranoia gets used, and he decides to re-engage. Oh, actually, he uses Callista as just a toadstool, even just to try and escape. But I don't think he'll be able to run away from this. So he gets the slow from Tam Kench, followed by the follow-up damage as a red buff attack from Callista, and the slows along with Bork auto at the 2. The hourglass gets used, but he's gonna still die.
And this is what I was talking about. If they can pop the Tristana before she can do any type of damage, they win the fight.
It seems they might potentially look to even maybe even end the game or at least get an inhibitor at the very least, but there are no minions. The minions are not in their favor right now, and they're looking to just go for the dragon as best as they can, or maybe even the bot tower.
Yeah, at best they can get the dragon, clear out a bit of the jungle, put down some deep wards, and just set up for and just wait for the next chance. That's all they need to do. If they can continue picking out Blue Dirk, they will win these team fights, because ultimately Hecarim is not pulling out the damage he needs to put it out. And Nocturne, while strong,
But Tam Kench just barely makes it out with his life. That GG port.
Nocturne is strong, but he's still squishy. He hasn't gotten a chance to get all his defensive items just yet. So without Tristana, Young Bronze just falls apart. And speaking about that, Tristana walks straight into Malphite. What are you doing on this side of the map? So we have a little bit of a lull in the action right now. The Barons are currently dead on red side. Hecarim's looking to push down top lane, put down a little bit of pressure. If Young Bronze can get some vision out, help enable this Hecarim to continue this push and just work on his open inhibitor, buying their time, keeping this Tristana safe, they can slowly continue.
He actually got the Banshee's Veil pop on that, but actually goes for Cataclysm and force the flash away. So they were able to get the flash off of that, as they have Malphite split pushing bot because he has the teleport, so he's free to do that split push if they ever need him. He can just TP right back as he gets a tower for them, gets some well-needed gold, and lowers the discrepancies even more. And now their team Young Bronze is only up by 5k, so let's see what they try to do.
This might just be a reverse by Team Reverse.
Oh god, I hate you for that pun.
Yeah, but it works. Now we have this is quite dangerous right now. They're all pushed up, and Hecarim is currently flanking. If he can catch them before they get up, but they've gotten away. Right now, Young
So
Bronze
they're looking for the paranoia onto the Tam Kench, but this might not be the ideal target that you want to do this on. But the team is actually very separated as Oriana flashes away, gets divided by Tam Kench, and the shockwave and the AoE lands onto Tristana, who pops the QSS, and she barely makes it out, but Malphite flashes over to kill her, and the fight raging on as Callista trying to kite back, gets the kill into a Nocturne as Hecarim looking to finish off what just started in this whole team fight as Callista trying to kite as best as she can, kiting into him, flashes over the wall, leading the job over to Jarvan the fourth as he pops down the Cataclysm. Will this be the end of it? He can't quite get out, and he gets finished off by the Pierce from Callista, and has a team fight win over onto the side of Team Reverse as they're trying to get this game and win into their favor. Now they are 25-second death timers. Hecarim at the 60-second death timer. So now they're trying to do whatever they can, but they have no towers, not enough siege potential in their favor. They have Callista trying to push his wave as best as she can, but without any minion waves, they just can't quite get any advantages from these fights that they're winning. But the Baron is up in 40 seconds. I think that's going to be what decides this game.
It is definitely a great thing that just happened to them. Once again, Tristana got caught out. In fact, Tristana missed position, going a little too aggressive to kill the Oriana. should have hang back, staying behind the
Oh,
Lulu.
but wait, there is so dead for a bit longer, and they're actually able to get a tower, but the paranoia with the home guards on the notcher coming forth, will this have been a mistake, or was this a decision that they needed to make? There's a lot of armor on them, so he's unfortunately not doing enough damage to Jarvan forth as TK coming in to help them with Tristana, looking to do what she can, and the unstoppable force is down. The Cataclysm is also down, as Tristana is free to DPS as far as she pleases with, the face call is used to save Tam Kench, but Hecarim with the home guard trying to come in, trying to make a play, will be able to do anything. Unfortunately, he can't, but now Young Bronze is looking to do this Baron that is alive, and we have a couple of people that are low on the side of Team Reverse, but Malphite does have the TP. He can do a TP home guard play right here. They have to do something about this Baron push. He can TP onto the Ghost if he so wishes, but the Ghost is down. There's the ward. Will the TP come in? The Baron is going down. What will happen right here as Bronze? Wait, there's a TP coming in. What will happen? That is the smite going over, and as the Baron still over the Jarvan forth. As the fight goes down here, we have Kalista going toward trying to do her damage as Tristana is trying to kill Scuttlecraft. Why are you killing Scuttlecraft? There's a fight happening right in front of you, and Malphite gets ulted back, but he does not care. There's so much armor. He's about to solo kill this Tristana. We have Thornmail, Frozen Heart, and Sunfire, and this looks like this is going to be a win over onto the side of Team Reverse. Can Tristana even live? Oh, the Baron minions! Run from the Baron minions! They're trying to kill you. So is Malphite, and the rest of the enemy team is trying to kill her next. What can she do as Malphite finally uses an unstoppable force just to finish off the job? And that is the ace for Team Reverse, and that is gonna be game here, folks, with these death timers. That is GG in this best of 3. Team Reverse takes the win against Team Young Bronze. That was quite the game there, folks.
That was definitely good. Congratulations to Team Reverse on your win.
Team Reverse with the reverse sweep.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge that.
I think there is one thing to take from this is that I was right when I said that the team that had Malphite won every game. So
I'm not gonna acknowledge that either.
who would have thought, Malphite as that priority pick potentially? Who knows? Who did the most damage? Please check. Here I'll go. I'll put out the damage graph for you guys right here. Well, let me hold on. Let me move that away from you guys first, because you guys see that. So position. Let me edit that real quick. There you go, boys. There's your damage. There is your damage. Delta Champions with Hecarim doing the most on the side of Team Young Bronze, and Orianna doing most on the side of Team Reverse, with a lot of damage coming out from the Malphite too, actually.
Oh, congratulations to Team Reverse. We'll be seeing them in the next round next week. This is Regis Sai signing out.
Same here. This is quite an exciting game as Team Reverse does the reverse sweep